Morning to you, Cristo here on Talk TV, and in just under 20 minutes' time we're going to be crossing live stateside to talk to a journalist over there about the latest on the story of Salman Rushdie, that horrific story that broke yesterday of the author having been stabbed a number of times, and just how dreadful that is and his condition. This is a journalist at Buffalo News. Where's Buffalo News based? Is that... we know that that's in America. We'll find out something more specific about that a little later on. Lots of the front pages this morning as well, making some mention of the drought as well as the horrific Salman Rushdie story. Still joined in the studio by Paul Britton, who's a criminal defence lawyer, founder of Britton and Time. And I mean, we're now in official drought situation, which means that we're being given all of this information about what it is we can and can't do. I don't know, it's frustrating because of the water companies that have not covered themselves in glory. They've mainly covered themselves in water, leaking water, frankly, and it's frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the figures range from 2 to 3 billion litres of water a day is leaked under our streets, under our roads and under our houses in the UK. And at the same time as that's happening, they're putting in restrictions on what you can and can't do in your home with a hosepipe, from watering your planters and your vegetable patch to your car, and other things. And the fine, if you're caught and you're encouraged to report your neighbour, is £1,000.
I don't think London, though, I don't think...
London hasn't, but Thames Water has introduced, or they're going to introduce in the next 2 weeks. Under the law, they have to give 2 weeks' notice in local papers. So Thames Water has made that notice, and I think Yorkshire as well. We are in 2 in Sussex and Kent. They're already under a hosepipe ban, with others to follow.
I mean, I do not encourage anyone to break the law, but I am going to find it very difficult not to use my hosepipe. I am. I've got a beautiful garden. I really do. I've got like 30 pots in my garden. I've got petunias coming out my ears, and they need water. And for me, I find it utterly counterproductive to say that, I mean, this is what annoys me so much. There is so much hypocrisy around the environmental debate, number one. Number two, everything comes down to us and our individual behaviour. And I get it. I mean, there is a responsibility that we have, but there is no sense that we're all in it together. Because if the water companies had been... We haven't built a reservoir in this country since 1992.
Well, that's the salient point, isn't it?
Which is ridiculous.
It's been happening for tens of years, and where are our reserves? The world's been getting warmer. We've known that year on year on year, and no one has taken a responsible step to say, don't you think we should start building larger reserves so that when it does heat up and water becomes scarce... I think it's the driest summer since 1935. We haven't had a hosepipe ban since the 90s. It's outrageous. There's no other way to describe it.
It's staggering to me that the water companies are privatised. I mean, I'm not I agree with the concept of privatisation. I don't agree with huge state-owned utilities.
No.
But I believe that where we've ended up with it is some skewed version that we never should have. And I don't believe that something that is a monopoly should be privately run. And the whole point is, I can't say, well, look, Thames Water, which seems to be digging up most of London at the moment as well,
daily,
all the time, with... And I don't know about you, but I'm also noticing in London as well how much of, and I don't know whether this is happening across the UK, and I'd love to know whether you think it is, but even when they take just like a metre of the road, they're putting in those temporary traffic lights, even though 2 cars can very easily pass, because they're so worried that we're so stupid that we're going to crash into each other. So it causes endless tailbags. And then we get these signs saying we're replacing our Victorian pipes. Like, they're proud of it. Like, they're proud now.
There's no consistency in the roadworks either. So sometimes they will close the road for a metre or narrow us down to 1 line, and sometimes they won't when there's probably not enough room, and we'll try to squeeze through and look at each other's wing mirrors.
Do we go past and actually see that no one's working as well. That it's literally just empty. I mean, they should be there 24 hours a day fixing
Cristo,
these pipes.
you're particularly early in the morning, and there are restrictions on when they can do works in the morning. So
they could.
You might be missing the.
But they are allowed
the
to work from 8 o'clock until 1 o'clock on a Saturday morning, so they could be getting up and going to work and doing it right now.
Yeah.
How often on a weekday afternoon is there no one there?
No, I mean, in quieter areas as well, they're allowed to work at more unsociable hours as long as they're not causing a disturbance. So they can get licences for that sort of stuff.
So we have that, and so we have this absurd situation where the water companies are not investing in reservoirs. They're not
identifying leaks,
the repairs that they should. There are gallons leaking out, but they're making an absolute fortune in profits, and we're the ones that are being told there are restrictions. And I'm so sick of this. I'm so sick of. You could take that example and apply it to any area of the climate change debate, and the councils, they just can't wait. They can't wait to fine you or not take your rubbish if it's in the wrong
recycling, where you don't put your plastic in your glass.
But then they'll send it all to landfill. Or it'll all be sold off.
I mean, what you said,
the
hypocrisy of it all. We live in a time
ones that have to do all of that,
and we live in a time where we're encouraged to have vegetable patches, to grow stuff at home, so we don't have to make more journeys to the supermarket, so we don't go in our gas guzzling cars and contribute to the problem that we're in now with climate change. And then the irony of it all is we're then told that we can't water those crops with a hose, so they're expected to die. So what do? We get in the car, we go to the supermarket, we produce more CO2, and we contribute more to the problem that is causing us to have a hosepipe ban in the first place.
Because there is no joined up thinking, and also there has been no preparedness for any of this, and then we end up with the catastrophic headlines that we've got, which I can't even get onto those, about us all going to hell in a handcart and all of us dying and all of the scaremongering around it all, when these are all problems that could have been so easily solved. Look, we'll talk about more about this when we come back here on Talk TV, but I don't know whether you want to join the conversation and whether you will be adhering to the hosepipe ban, or are you going to have your own little victory, your own little rebellion against it? 0344 499 1000 is the number to call if you want to join the conversation this morning. We are live from the Talk Radio studio. It's Cristo here on Talk TV.